August 3rd, 2018.
And this is Nerd Bourbon episode 61. I'm Seth Sturgill.
And I am Todd Sturgill.
Overwatch me, Todd. Did you see that shit?
No. I don't even know what that's about.
Oh, so you're not familiar. DJ Khaled performed for the Overwatch League, apparently.
Oh, no. Really?
Recently. And, dude, it is like the worst live performance I think I've ever seen. You've got to watch this video. It was like a 20-minute performance, and it is probably the worst live performance I've ever seen. I don't even
know if I want to suffer through that.
It's so bad. He's first of all, he's just singing over other songs, not even all DJ Khaled songs. And
sounds about right.
And then also, he's not he's only playing the songs for he's only playing 20 seconds of the songs and then going another one and then moving on to another song.
Was he playing to his memes?
It's so weird. And then he and then the crowd is just, I mean, you're getting shots of the crowd and it's all these Overwatch nerds. You know what I mean? And none of them are really, it's just the wrong demographic. It's just the wrong audience. None of them are really jiving to the music. And just so the audience is just dead. He'll be when I say DJ, you say Khaled, DJ, and then crickets. And he's just still just trying to
That's hilarious. See, I don't realize, whenever I hear about shit like that, it's do people not realize their demographic when they set up this shit?
And then he was shitty about it too. 5 minutes into the performance, he goes, he's oh, I'm on tour right now with Jay-Z and Beyonce, and I had to pencil this into my schedule and shit like that.
It's congratulations, you're getting paid for it. Who gives a shit?
And then so the Overwatch me thing comes from in the middle of it, he literally goes, I swear to God, he goes, Overwatch me, and then he does the shittiest dance you've ever seen.
Oh my God.
Just this shitty looks like a river dance almost. Oh my God. I can't wait for the internet to get a hold of this. Because it's just it just happened I think a few days ago.
Yeah, I think the finals or whatever of the Overwatch League just happened. Or some shit.
he performed there. And it was just the most abysmal fucking performance.
I don't want to suffer through that.
It's so bad.
DJ Khaled.
I'm DJ Khaled. You from New York City, put your hands in the air. And it's well, fucking the event was in New York City, dude. I want to rant about two things before we get started today.
All right.
This literally just happened. And you bore witness to it. So I'm already fucked up right now. I'm already, first of all, I'm sick still. You're probably going to catch a little bit of these congested noises, whatever I don't edit out. And I've been getting my ass fucked at work and stuff like that. And my only solace in this life, Todd, is Star Wars toys. It's the only small comfort I have anymore. And I got this nice new IKEA shelf that my fiance and I broke up 17 times while building. And and it's very nice. It's this very nice glass shelf, very sleek. I really like it. But it's a magneticized, it has a magnetic clip to open and close it.
Yeah.
And so whenever I open it, 12 figures fall over.
Well, yeah, because you got to put a little effort into opening those up.
There's a little bit of force behind opening and closing it. And a bunch of figures just topple over every time I do it. So it's so frustrating. Whenever I get a new figure, I have to reposition everything basically. So I just got this Kylo Ren figure. And first of all, I was torn between which Kylo Ren Black Series figures that I wanted, and I was well, I like the head sculpt of this one better, but the cape and the lightsaber of this one better. So I ended up, because I'm an idiot, I ended up buying them both. and just like kind of mix and matching the pieces of them. And so I go to put them in, and I swear to God, I had to, and you were on the mic listening to this as it was happening, I had to fucking like reopen my shelf like 4 times to get this dude in. And then like I finally got him in, and I forgot that he has a little like broken helmet accessory that I wanted to put in there with him, and I forgot to put it in. So I had to open it again, and oh my God, it was just like cue the fucking Curb Your Enthusiasm music.
No, it was really entertaining on my side because all I'm hearing is just like, why is everything ass?
And I'm just like, I'm already just this fucking ball of anxiety and anger right now, and like I'm sitting here just like getting like the anxious sweats while I'm doing it. And I'm fucking just like, dude, I'm just like sweating all over the place and cursing, and I'm annoyed. And I'm just like, motherfucker, Star Wars toys are supposed to be good. It's the only thing good. So that happened. Another thing I want to rant about, and we, I wanted to give the people at home an update over the, on the whole Men's Wearhouse scenario. What's going on with that? People have been anxiously awaiting. People have been longing for an update on what's going on with Men's Wearhouse. So finally, we get I get Todd and Dan's clothes situated, and I ship them off to them, and they receive them. And when I bought their clothes, the people at Men's Wearhouse suggested that we get their vest a size up from the shirt, despite the fact that my vest was the same size as my shirt, and it looked totally fine. The guys at Men's Wearhouse were like, oh no, typically you buy the vest a size larger. I'm like, okay, you guys are the experts.
Experts my ass.
We ship them off to you guys, and you guys try them on, and they're both way too big.
I explained it to I think I explained it to you. I was like, I look like a fucking fridge in it.
Yeah, and so does Dan, and it just looks like shit. So Dan returned his, and he has another one being ordered to him, and hopefully that's going to be the last we have to worry about is after all this. And then like my shirt had like a wrong tag on it. Like I ordered a 3X shirt, and they ended up sending me a 2X. It's like all this bullshit, dude. It's like, no offense to like the company or anything like that. I'm not trying to like slander them, but I will never use Men's Wearhouse again, dude.
Some real shit.
Like I'm sorry. I also I meant to actually do this last week as a follow-up to episode 59, where we talked about like the weird, strange laws that are still laws,
Yeah.
My buddy Aaron that I used to work at GameStop with, who listens to the podcast, a shout out to Aaron. He sent me a text like a few days after we posted it going, he says, hey, I meant to send you this over the weekend but got caught up regarding the last pod. I got a ticket in New Lana, which is a nearby city, for swearing, $300.
What?
And it was an obscenity charge.
Holy shit.
A guy got the same charge last week for diddling himself in public.
That's ridiculous.
$300 for swearing in public. He got charged. So
that's crazy.
Anyway, Todd, how have you been doing this week? What's been going on in your world?
Well, there's a lot of shit going on in my life. No.
You're deeply emotional.
I'm still living that unemployed life right now. But I'm hot on the tracks of a job.
You more or less got on lockdown.
Yeah, that basically, I'm good. I don't have to worry about that. But other than that, I've been playing. So we're gonna get into some video games right now. So the level of bored in Monster Hunter that I'm at right now, I decided to clean up every optional quest in the game.
Jesus.
And I did. Do you know what you get for that?
I'm waiting for us to get. First of all, I'm waiting for us to get our first kind of actual YouTube audience that just rally together around the fact that they're so sick of hearing your depressed Monster Hunter. Hey, what do you get for doing all of the optional quests, Todd?
The rainbow pigment.
Oh, is that what you got to do to get that?
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So I actually use it, though. Not on my character, but I use it on my Palico.
Uh-huh.
Which I have my Palico looking boss of shit right now. Those gachalakas?
No.
Those you've seen them. They're the fucking little assholes with the masks. They they're jackasses.
It doesn't ring a bell.
Little
But...
like they're kind of like they're palicos, but they're not palicos. They're like
Oh,
these tribal
yeah.
palicos.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I actually have my palico rocking one of their masks. He looks good.
Nice.
But and then they punish me again in the same way of when you hit hunter rank 100 and you do the the Sapphire Star guidance or whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
Where they fill up your entire Astera and research base with exclamation marks.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the same. It's the level of same bullshit. Because you get another nickname, like the White Wind or some bullshit.
Okay.
I wanted to kill myself. I was like, this is what I get for deciding to finish your game, basically.
Nah. No, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been. I actually ended up. I basically have finished my build now. I've actually like fully augmented all my gear. Got a pretty good build set up, and now I'm just killing shit out of boredom. That's where I'm at in life with that game. Then you have. I've been playing No Man's Sky. I know you haven't actually touched it really yet.
Yeah, I haven't touched any video games.
Yeah. I actually. I wanted to kind of like shout out the fact that I got stranded for a while.
Hmm.
And because I went to this planet and I found a hauler, like a class ship, the class of ship is the hauler or whatever, and I bought it because it's technically free, but I added it to my collection basically because I want a hauler because like my class of ship I usually use just like an explorer basically, and it fucked me. My other ship disappeared, and I think. It was just glitched enough, because there's a lot of I think there's a couple like optimization issues they still need to work out with the No Man's Sky Next update. And I say that because I jumped on like for the first time since they had another update, and everything was fine. I was able to leave that godforsaken planet
after the hot fix.
Yeah, but no, this is another hot fix, dude.
Oh Lord.
No, this was another hot fix. Like I was still fucked. And it's actually funny is our mutual friend Tyler. I ended up getting a better freighter than him for free.
Okay.
I don't know if I told you about that. Like I actually sent him a message with a picture of it, and he's like, "You motherfucker! Basically, you got a Class A."
See that all means nothing to me. I don't even know what you're talking about.
The class you play like 60 hours of the game. You got to know that shit. I think the class system was still a thing.
Sure wasn't.
Really? For the ships? Yeah, it was.
No.
Dude, yeah.
If it was,
I remember
no
my ship being
it.
a Class B in the beginning.
If there was that in the beginning in the first like vanilla game, I have no memory of that.
Well, yeah, like there's like the class. It's like kind of like the rarity system, I think, basically, and how good it is usually. It's like there's Class C, B, like A. Class S is the best. But I have a Class A freighter, and his S has like just a Class C. And another thing is my freighter, it looks like a fucking Star Destroyer. I love it.
Nice.
It's fantastic. It's been a lot of fun playing that game. I don't play it by myself. I legitimately only play it with Tyler, or I would play it with you. But other than that, it's great. I've had a lot of fun with what I've done with it so far. And then other video game related shit. What have I done? I jumped on Destiny and checked out that new Solstice shit.
Yeah, I'll be hopping on there tonight.
I'll be real. I don't care enough to do to get the 400 armor.
Oh, really?
I don't care enough. It's not that big a deal. Because
Eh.
honestly, when Forsaken comes out, we're just gonna get
You're
that
gonna
shit
get it
anyways.
anyway. Yeah.
That's like I don't give a shit. And any other like video game related things I've been up to is actually just this morning, I jumped into the Curse Sales update for Sea of Thieves.
Okay.
And that actually ended up being, like, I swear to God, like Sea of Thieves is at its best with like PvE related stuff.
So
I'll say this though.
Is that the one where there's like the ghost ships and shit like that? Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of it is, I don't know if you can like randomly find them, but there are like these. There's a lot of there's like if you look at the commendations, you can kind of tell like there's these 5 battles basically around the seas, and it's intense. Like, dude, we had like, and it's another thing that we didn't even know about this is so this is actually a funny story. Is a dude like they park right. They come up right next to us and park. We thought they were gonna ram us. Tyler and Bree were ready to just fucking like just rock them, and they're not paying attention that like they're trying to talk to us, and they're about to just start like shooting cannons at them and shit. And all I'm hearing is, "Hey guys, what are you guys doing? We want to make an alliance," and they're as like I'm screaming. I'm like, "Don't shoot them! They're friendly!"
And Tyler's just like, "Load the cannons!"
Basically, I'm like, "No, he's friendly. Damn it, they're friendly." And we ended up like making an alliance. We didn't even know that was a thing. Like that's like I think it's a completely new thing. And it's interesting because you can actually, like, I was telling you before this, and I was like, I'll save it for the podcast, is so you can actually see them on the map, like, when you go down to, like, market, you can actually see everyone that's in the alliance on the map, and you can share, like, basically, you get a cut of what, so whenever you sell something, you'll still get the 100% of what you're going to get, but anybody in your alliance gets, like, 25 or, like, 50% of it or some shit.
That's cool.
And that's actually really interesting because, like, dude, think about this is like these, and we get into the ghost ships, dude. You're gonna need an alliance. Like that's what you need. You need an alliance.
They're pretty intense,
dude. I'm gonna be real. Just the battle that we did, like 8 ships.
8 ships.
8 ships.
Damn.
No, that's 8 ships that we had to destroy.
Right.
So yeah, 8 ships we had to destroy versus 4 people.
So how big of an alliance can you have?
I don't know, dude. Like we had a. Oh, so by the way, they added a new ship as well. They added a new ship. It's basically the perfect ship for like whenever like Tyler and I play Sea of Thieves because we never usually have a full group. We usually only have like 3.
So it's like between a sloop and a galleon.
Yes, it's a brigantine.
Okay.
It is the perfect 3-man ship.
Okay.
It is 2 sets of cannons. Like so, it's 4 cannons instead of like the 6. It's instead of 1 sail for the sloop. It's 2 sails. It's like basically a perfect, like right in the middle. The maneuverability on it's legit, like right in the middle of a sloop and a galleon. It's pretty good. And so it was 3 brigantines, and 1 sloop, and it was hectic, man. It was so hectic. Like the entire battle was crazy because you were sitting there, like just the thing is they go down, they come back up. It's rough. Like and you can it's. This so much shit happened during that. Like, dude, a random megalodon spawned during the battle.
So, like, can the Kraken come and shit?
Dude, yeah, apparently, like, cause we were just looking at it, like, what the, because we were all like, oh my god, a fucking megalodon, and this is funny. It's like the 3rd time we've seen a megalodon in that one session, cause it was like we're just sitting there talking. At one point, it was just, we're just sitting there talking. We're like just like figuring out what we're gonna do next, and Tyler's looking behind us. Like, he's just looking out behind the, behind the wheel. And he's like, holy shit. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I turn around, and you just see the big-ass shark fin. It's like, holy shit.
That's cool.
Yeah, the Megalodon's rough. Like, that shit's very rough. And there's, like, one thing I'll talk about, like, the main thing I want to get across is just, like, that is what that game at its best is, like, the PvE, like, co-op experience. People are more assholes now, though. Like, we definitely got into some battles. With some like actual players now, like recently, so I'm happy that that's kind of back. But like, still, there is still a good co-op experience in that game, and I think that is Sea of Thieves at its best.
Why do you think that's back? Like, what made that kind of troll come back?
I don't know. It's 'cause it's fun. It's fun. I won't lie. Like the PvP's fun.
Yeah, but like even Tyler, like when I was playing with you guys, he was like, kind of. Nobody really does it anymore, but
honestly, it's probably like more people just getting into the game, like with some of these updates, and you got a lot of people that like kind of like new, and they're like just kind of like looking to fuck people up. I don't know.
So you think it's just volume? It's just more people?
Maybe. I think that's about it. Like, 'cause honestly, I've never seen this many ships in one like sitting, dude. It was like 4 of us on one server. I've never seen that many ships like next to each other. Before we move on from Sea of Thieves, there's actually one thing I want to bring up again is. There's a level of jank that happened in this battle, and it was hilarious.
Okay.
So we ran out of cannons, like, because I'm telling you, we went through 100 cannons like nothing.
Oh, God.
Like 100 cannonballs, like nothing, dude.
Jesus.
Like fucking nothing. Like, that's how bad that shit is. Like, it is rough. And so Tyler decides to ram it. So I'm sitting there. I'm like really good at like I'm always on the repairs because I'm like sitting there. I'm quick at it. I'm like ready to just knock it out. I'm chilling in the lower deck, just preparing. And I'm at the kind of like by where the captain's quarters is. The captain's quarters is not really a captain's quarters. Like, it's all on the lower deck. So we're sitting there, I'm repairing, and all of a sudden, dude, it happens so seamlessly, this jank. So he rams, right? He rams it and kind of rides the top of the skeleton ship. And then all of a sudden, I'm on the fucking deck of that skeleton ship.
What?
It phased me out of our ship onto that ship, and it freaked me the fuck out because I'm sitting there surrounded by skeletons. I'm like, what the fuck?
That doesn't even surprise me. I think I had some shit kind of similar to that happen to me.
But dude, it was just like it was so seamless that it freaked me out. I was like, okay, I guess I'm fighting now, basically. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man. Like, it'd be pretty awesome to actually get you in on to check out the new ship and shit.
It'd be pretty awesome to have free time at all, Todd. That just is not a thing for me. We did finally get to play Dungeons and Dragons for the first time in like 2 months, so that was nice.
Yeah, that's some real shit.
And we're probably gonna play again this coming Sunday, so that's been nice. It's been nice to get back into that, but it's really just my free time has pretty much been that and the scant free time that I have, and just just being sick and working and doing wedding stuff, and that's just been my life.
You know, that's one thing about you. When you get sick, you're sick for like a fucking longer than a week sometimes.
It's funny because I don't get sick often. I get sick once, maybe twice a year. But and it's not even I don't even feel that bad right now. The sore throat is still kind of there, and I'm still coughing a bunch, and there's still some congestion going on, but I don't feel that sick or anything like that. I'm just
your immune system is pathetic.
There's some lingering.
Your puny immune system is pathetic.
I get sick once or twice a year, and you think my immune system's pathetic?
Hey, you get sick once a year, but you last you a fucking 2 weeks sometimes.
I guess, but I mean, I'd take that over getting sick once a month for a couple days.
Yeah, fuck that. Here's the thing. I get sick once a year. It's bad, but it lasts like a day.
Give it a couple of years. Give it a couple of years. Your body will fade.
Shit, I'm already a broken down piece of shit.
Your body will fade on you as it's faded on me.
Shit, my body's been faded. Fuck you mean?
It'll go. It'll go.
It's already went.
Yeah, but it's gonna get worse. It always gets worse. Todd, let's play a game this week. We play a quarterly game around these parts that folks may or may not be familiar with. So I just want to give you the rundown. I feel like I should find some generic royalty-free game show music to play at the beginning of this. But it's a game that we lovingly call Nerd Bourbon Video Game Vomit. This game consists of a couple of rules. So we have a website that we go to that is essentially a video game title mashup generator, and you can just click this generator, and it just takes from a collection of what must be thousands of video game titles across every generation of video games and just mashes them together. And sometimes they don't make sense at all. Sometimes it's just NASCAR, Pro Bass, Wrestling, Zelda, Twilight. Some of these just bullshit. You know what I mean? But sometimes you get gold.
You get some gold.
Sometimes you get gold. And we've done this twice before. This will be the third time. We're going to do this every 4 months or so. Every 3 or 4 months. I think 3 months is what we're going with right now. We're doing, I guess, quarterly. Just because it's fun to do. It's fun to revisit. And essentially, we are trading off. So, last time Todd did it, the time before I did it, so now it's my turn again. Now, I do want to have a few stipulations this time around. Because essentially, when we play Nerd Bourbon Video Game Vomit, we kind of take these titles and we hash out what kind of games we think these might be. But I want to take it a step further. Because, we oftentimes end up coming up with at least a halfway decent pitch for what these games might be. And I want to find a way to work microtransactions into every single one of these titles.
Oh, Lord.
Bonus points if we can work microtransactions into them.
I mean, honestly, you can get microtransactions into anything. So.
We have to be shrewd video game executives. And we need to be EA, basically. And
Let me get my turtle. Let me get my my dad's sweater on.
Yeah,
Acting like I'm not an evil
my
son of a bitch.
supervillain sweater. We need to basically figure out how to work microtransactions into all these titles after we hash out what exactly they are. So, are you ready? I've got 10 titles for you today, Todd.
Ooh, you went for 10.
I went for 10. Now let me be honest. I probably sat there for like 2 fucking hours.
Dude, no, that's exactly how it was, dude. Like, I was, the time that I did it, man, I had, like, shit luck. I was sitting there, like, I sat there for a dead ass, like, 3 hours.
But I will say that the 10 titles that I have are probably the 10 best titles that we've ever had for this show.
No, God bless.
This is a very strong list. So I'm very happy with the way this turned out, and I think we're going to get some good content out of it. Are you ready to play Nerd Bourbon Video Game Vomit?
No. All right, let's do it.
Contestant number 1, Todd Sturgill, also the only contestant. Okay, the first title on our list is Garfield, the Lightning Thief.
What?
Isn't this
Garfield the Lightning Thief, huh?
Isn't that like the Percy Jackson thing? Isn't that a thing?
Probably like some bullshit like
It's like that young adult novel, like Percy Jackson, Jackson and the Lightning Thief, or whatever it is. I remember.
You're probably right.
I remember my little brother. Like wanted me to take him to see one of those movies.
Was there a game?
Apparently, it was probably like one of those shitty licensed games on like Wii, you know. So apparently there is a game, and I don't know what kind of game it was, but the Garfield angle is interesting. I'm wondering. Like, so does Percy Jackson? I guess I have to feign ignorance a little bit on Percy Jackson in general, because does Percy Jackson have like powers?
I know the only reason I even know about this shit is because I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen enough of the trailer. Percy Jackson is basically a demigod.
Okay, so I'm seeing this. He is the demigod son of Poseidon.
Yes.
Okay. So I guess he does have some powers, right? Or presumably he does.
Yeah, it's like modern age like Greek mythology bullshit.
Okay. So what's interesting to me, actually, I'm on the Wikipedia page for Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief. It was directed by Chris Columbus. Do you know who Chris Columbus is?
Probably not.
He's the director of the first 2 Harry Potter movies.
Oh, okay.
And also wrote Goonies. So maybe the movie's good. I don't know. But I'm interested in the Garfield angle. I think Garfield is the true Achilles heel here, because we can get into Greek mythology and stuff, but how does Garfield relate to Greek mythology? You know what I mean?
Is there any cat-related shit with Greek mythology?
Well, I'm sure there is. I mean, Egyptian mythology would be the better route to go for that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm wondering what sort of game it would be. What would motivate Garfield to go on sort of a grand adventure? Because I'm sort of imagining sort of like
to destroy Mondays.
Destroy the fucking god of Mondays.
He needs to steal the lightning to destroy
steal the lightning, destroy the Mondays, get lasagna. Garfield the Lightning Thief. I'm imagining gameplay wise. I'm imagining this as basically a like the 2018 God of War, like over the shoulder Garfield who's like armored. But he still has like the cartoon like orange head and shit.
And instead of throwing an axe, he's throwing lightning like Zeus.
Well, in the Percy Jackson poster here, like he's literally holding like a lightning bolt.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like a power. God, I must sound like such an old fart to people who know what Percy Jackson is. I don't know if that's like a power that Percy Jackson has or something like that, but if so, that's something that
I think he legitimately steals like lightning bolts from Zeus. That's like a thing.
Okay.
Like the lightning bolts are just like a thing.
Okay. So do you think there's like some kind of cross-pollination branding? Is there like, how do we work characters like John and Odie into this? You know what I mean? Is
it wrong? Like, since we're going with the God of War, I need Odie to be like Atreus,
like the kind of like companion character.
Yes.
Be pretty good. Now, follow-up question, where do microtransactions come in?
I can go the easy route and just be like, cosmetics.
Yeah, I do feel like that's the easier. I mean, I think DLC is an obvious route we can go with this franchise.
This franchise.
I think that, I don't know many characters in the Garfield mythology.
That's my thing. Like, I only know of, like, the main.
Yeah. I also feel like that, like, the comic strip itself needs to be worked into it a little bit, and maybe some microtransactions could happen there. But there could also be like a, like an in-game currency that we could charge players for. Make it easier to unlock some of that lasagna.
The lasagna is the RPG equivalent of the talent points or the skill points.
Yeah, just go the lazy like what Deus Ex did with Mankind Divided. Just like,
can you straight buy?
You can just buy
like
skill points. Yeah,
that's hilarious. I forgot about that.
It's called like Praxis points or whatever. But yeah, you just straight up buy them.
That's just to the motherfuckers that did that. I respect.
You can just buy like it's almost like it really disappointed me when Mortal Kombat let you just like buy everything in the crypt for like $20.
Really?
You spend like $20 and you just have everything in the crypt.
It's lame.
So, the next title that we have here, this is a sort of a new entry in a series that's been gone for a long time. You may remember a game called Sleeping Dogs. Do you know the origin of Sleeping Dogs?
No.
Originally, Sleeping Dogs is going to be a new true crime game.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be True Crime Hong Kong. Well, Todd, are you ready for True Crime Ken Beyond?
Wait, was it True Crime and what?
Ken Beyond.
Ken Beyond?
Ken Beyond. Ken. Like the name. And what I'm imagining...
I got it. I'm just like, what?
What I'm imagining is a kind of open world GTA game set in like a universe full of Barbie dolls, where you're playing as a Ken doll. Could you imagine that? Like,
see, I was going another route.
Okay.
I was like, it could be like a more futuristic sort of true crime.
Okay, where's the Ken come in though?
That's the thing. It's just a dude named Ken.
Could you imagine if like games did that just all the time? Just
I would respect it.
If GTA 5 was like GTA 5, Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. God of War, Kratos Beyond. just casually putting like the names of the fucking characters in the title.
I could kind of get into like like it'd be kind of funny to have like a true like I want here's the thing. You can take the whole like Ken Barbie doll sort of thing, but I still want it to be like kind of dark and like gritty,
yeah. How about
true crime?
I was gonna say, how about mix them? How about make it like a open world like sci-fi sort of thing? But yeah, you can
with the Ken Barbie doll shit.
With the Barbie doll shit, yeah.
Because I think Barbie. And the thing is, we can do like an almost the Beyond thing. Just makes me want to do like a RoboCop thing with Ken.
That would actually that'd be an interesting angle to take it. Where like, because they are dolls, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, this Ken could be like a souped up RoboCop type mishmash doll. I would play the fuck out of that. Are you kidding me?
I definitely would, because it'd be so fucking stupid.
I would play the fuck out of that if like Ken, and he's just smiling the whole time with that Ken doll smile, you know, and he can just like. His plasticine like arm just folds over and like reveals like a giant machine gun. You know what I mean? Oh, I'd play the shit out of that. He's basically like Killer Inspector Gadget in a neo-noir Barbie city.
Exactly. I'd actually play the hell out of it.
And every house looks like a Barbie like playset. You know?
Oh, incredible.
The microtransactions there are easy because you charge for the outfits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's several different Ken outfits.
Yeah. You
could be running around as Summer Vacation Ken. Or Cookout Ken. Or whatever. Now, I'm going to be interested to hear what you think of this next title. Todd, you're a Chicago boy, born and raised, lived there all your life.
Unfortunately.
And I'm curious, what's your opinion on relish?
I actually I don't go out of my way for relish, but I'll take it. I could take it or leave it, really.
You're a relish liker. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Well, would you play a game called CSI Relish Rampage?
Yes, I would.
So, my head's spinning, Todd, with possibilities.
Now, this needs to follow a serial killer.
That's what I was thinking too, like a relish-based serial killer.
Yes, I don't know, there's always something with relish in his murders or her murders, either way. I don't discriminate.
so you think
I
the
believe
serial
equal
killer
opportunity.
yeah. So you think the serial killer utilizes relish in some way?
In some way, either it's a what's the word? It's the signature.
Right. Like the
I
calling
watch Criminal
card.
Minds.
Yeah. So wait, so do you think they're just eventually you're gonna run out of ways to use relish, dude? Eventually you're just gonna be doing stupid
You
shit.
underestimate the degeneracy of some.
Eventually you're just gonna be doing stupid shit where you just freeze a relish ice pick and stab somebody with it, basically. Just freeze a block of relish.
Because it's the thing is, this is gonna get weird the further we get into what he could be doing with the relish. It could really people at that point can send us to people and get us locked up.
We've said things on this show before that could have had us locked up.
You right?
So I mean, I can't think of that many applications to kill somebody with relish.
Force it down their throat.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know, the relish murder applications just seem kind of... So, I mean...
Well, here's the thing. He doesn't need to kill with the relish. It's the idea of the relish ends up being a part of it.
Okay.
It could be sexual in nature. I don't know.
How could it be sexual in nature?
Because a lot of things are sexual in nature. Don't you watch these crime shows?
No, I agree with you on that front, but I just don't understand how relish rampage.
I don't know. Maybe he was touched and relish helped him when he was younger. I don't fucking know.
Also, it's a rampage, dude.
So so we're going with it's a spree killing.
It's a spree killing. He's reckless. He's wild with the relish.
I don't know. He's doing a lot of shit. Taking their eyes out, filling their eye sockets with relish. I don't fucking know.
Okay, so you think the killing is separate from the relish?
The killing is separate, but it leads to the relish.
Okay, so I thought you were saying that the relish had to be directly involved with the murder.
The relish ends up that's how you know it's him. He leaves it as it's his signature.
I see.
He's the relish rampager. I don't fucking.
So at this point, this is basically just like a detective game, like these CSI games or like LA Noire or something like that.
Yeah.
Where you're just going after the relish rampager. How do you work microtransactions into this?
Fuck if I know.
The question that every video game executive must ask when they're being pitched a game. This may be the one that I kind of have to pass on. I don't know if I can work microtransactions.
Yeah, I don't know if you can get microtransactions in this one.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, obviously you could do DLC, but that's kind of different. Next up, going back in the god-based direction, I present you Jimmy Neutron, Hand of Olympus.
Yes.
Now, this is funny because I feel like every time we do this, a Nickelodeon property is brought up in some respect.
It is. I think the last one was SpongeBob.
Yeah, we did there was SpongeBob and the Last Airbender and shit like that.
Which is the thumbnail.
I feel like there's always some sort of Nickelodeon representation. And true enough, while I'm searching through these, I'm always getting because it's based on franchises and stuff. So you see a million Tony Hawk's and Tom Clancy's.
Oh yeah.
I purposefully avoided using a lot of those. I tried very hard to avoid the Tom Clancy's and the Tony Hawk's because I feel like we've touched on that.
That's the thing. There being so many of those games, it's easier for that to pop up.
Yeah.
In these generators.
Yeah, and I think the generator favors stuff like that anyway, just in its algorithm to make it sound more cohesive. Yeah. So when you can put a name in the front of it, So Jimmy Neutron Hand of Olympus, though, was so good that I had to leave it. Because, I knew there were Jimmy Neutron games, but I don't know where Hand of Olympus comes from, first of all. And I sort of have the idea with this. Where does your head go, first of all?
Now, Jimmy Neutron is known for doing, like, weird shit with, like, the show.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It'd be funny to see, like, mythology come alive for Jimmy Neutron because he's, science. It's
Right.
all science.
That's exactly what I was thinking. He's so scientific.
So it'd be interesting to see him take on, like, mythology. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see him grapple, like, whoa, the gods are real type shit. Like, it'd be interesting to hear him, to see him grapple with that.
See him brain blast that shit.
That's the story angle, though, but what kind of game is it, though?
3D platformer.
3D platformer? Here's my thinking. Jimmy Neutron is teleported to the world, I guess, of Greek mythology, since this is Olympus we're talking about. And he is chosen by the gods of Olympus to become their agent in the mortal world.
Okay.
And this is an origin story for Jimmy Neutron. This is where he's granted his vast intellect. He's being gifted the intellect of fucking, I don't know, the Greek god of knowing shit. I don't know.
Wouldn't that be
like
Athena?
Huh?
Wouldn't that be Athena?
Maybe. I don't know. That's the weird thing about, like, Greek mythology, and specifically, is that, like, every god has, like, so many hats. Anyway, he would be granted with the power of a god, like, given that knowledge, and that's how Jimmy Neutron is so smart. His brain blast is actually a god-given superpower. And he is the Hand of Olympus. And I don't know what the gameplay angle is, if he's, like, having to, like track down, like, other, like, beings in the mortal world, but I think that Jimmy Neutron basically it's almost like Shazam. Like, Jimmy Neutron's sort of given the powers of a god and living among them, living among the humans. And he is the Hand of Olympus. So it's a 3D platformer. I don't know, like, because I feel like we don't see that much of Jimmy Neutron's, like, town. You know, like, it's all.
You see a decent little bit of it with the show, actually.
You get a little bit of it, but it's not like you get, like, restaurants, but it's mostly like the school, isn't it?
Yes and no. It's like a lot of the school, like, you're making me, like, dive into, like, the shit I used to watch when I was young.
I'm making you do a brain blast right now. Do you even know? do you know the name of Jimmy Neutron's town?
Legit, if I heard the name, it'd be like, oh yeah, that's right. But I can't fucking remember.
Oh, it's called Retroville.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Retroville. Okay. I remember the Jimmy Neutron movie.
And that's kind of the deal, like Retroville. It's funny,
So
it is kind of like old school.
Doing a little research here. So these are all the scene locations in the show. Retroville is a large city with skyscrapers and a suburban residential area with parts of the city with a small town feel. These are the places that have been seen in the show. The Candy Bar.
Yep.
Which is an ice cream shop. I remember that. Lake Retroville. Lindbergh Elementary School, which is the school. Pizza Clown. I remember Pizza Clown. This one I remember too. Retroland.
Yeah.
McSpanky's. Okay. Retroville Convention Center and Sports Arena. Retroville Central Library. Purple Flurp Factory. Retroville Power Plant, Retroville Park, and Retroville Zoo. So it's a pretty typical city, honestly.
Yeah.
So if it's a 3D platformer, we do have plenty of places to go.
They can make levels based off the shit.
You can make levels based off of the different locations, and I think bosses. Treat it like it's like a 3D platformer, almost like a Mega Man kind of thing, where each... So maybe the kids that he interacts with are also secretly given the powers of Olympians. Some like maybe I'm thinking Sheen has like the power of Hermes or something like that. And he and he's hiding out at the fucking Retroland or whatever. And at the end of it, after you defeat Sheen, like Jimmy Neutron gets his powers, and by the end of the game, he just has all these powers of the gods.
As the true hand of Olympus.
He is truly Jimmy Neutron, hand of Olympus. Where do microtransactions come in?
Letting you play as other characters.
That's a good one. It's like you want to play
as Carl.
You want to play as Carl with that llama mount?
Fuck yes, I do.
You gotta pay for it.
Shit, I'll pay like $20 for that. Fuck you mean?
How much would you realistically? You're bad about microtransactions.
See, that's exactly why. I was like, I'll pay $20 for that shit. See, you judge me. Is I just spent like $40 trying to get that fucking Sparrow that just came out.
Oh God. You've got too much time and money on your hands, sir.
It's running out.
Next up is Galactic Wrestling, which is a game that I'd play just based on the title alone. I think it's just a very simple, cut and dry one, but it's just such a good premise. Wrestling in space.
Now, but who's doing the wrestling?
I think it's just normal ass wrestlers.
No, bro. The planets themselves.
Oh shit. The planets themselves are wrestling?
Yes.
That's true because the makeup of planets and the size of the different planets. So you got like like Pluto or whatever is kind of like that scrappy Little Mac type character. Mm-hmm. Really fast,
Mm-hmm. Basically, what I'm imagining is like the actual like planets, and then like it's just because it's stupid. I want spectral arms and legs.
Spectral arms and legs, because Jupiter can basically be like the Zangief.
Mm-hmm.
Of the game. I'm imagining it though. Are you imagining a 2D fighter? Because I'm not. I'm thinking it's like a almost like a Soul Calibur.
No, I want it to be like. You know what I want it to play like? That game I'm actually like surprisingly looking forward to. What is that? That Shonen Jump, that Jump Force or whatever.
Oh yeah, so it's like, so that's almost like it's almost got like a what's that? Almost like a Tekken kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, where it's like 3D and like the camera shifts.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm liking that. Obviously, in any fighting game, skins and voices and stuff like that. But there could also be a heavy online component. The nice thing about the thing that I really like about the idea of like planets fighting is that like there are only so many fucking planets. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like you don't have to like come up with an excuse to like put out more planets. You get the ones you got, and that's it. You know what I mean?
No, and then we'll get the ones that they've spotted but don't have actual names, like B25.
Play as B25. Is that how you think we work microtransactions? Just the typical like fighting game skins and stuff like that?
And create your own planet and a character customization.
Create your own planet. Okay. Do we give them free reign? Like, can you just make your planet look like a fucking everlasting gobstopper?
Yes.
Just a nightmarish. Okay. Next up, we got Sneak King of the Dark Alliance. Are you familiar with Sneak King?
What the fuck does Sneak King come from?
Sneak King is a Burger King video game.
That's what I was thinking. Is it that fucking Burger King game?
Did you play that?
Yes.
Is it weird that I kind of like that game?
No, I kind of like it too.
It's actually really bad, but like there's a part of me that actually really enjoys that game for what it is.
I forgot it. That's like I thought that shit was a fever dream.
No, it's real. Burger King released like 3 games. And as little like you bought them for like $1 at Burger King or something like that. And Sneak King was one of them. And basically, you literally, the whole game it's mission based. I think there's like 20 or 30 missions in the game or something like that. And you literally are just sneaking around, surprising people with Burger King, playing as the king. Now, what I'm thinking of when I see Sneak King of the Dark Alliance, imagine
it's the other mascots of every other restaurant.
Well, that's all well and good, but gameplay wise, I'm basically imagining like Shadow of Mordor, where you're Middle Earth basically, where you're playing as the Burger King, and like all these different regions. Like, so instead of like Oryx and like their like captains and overlords and shit, you're going after like Wendy's army and Ronald McDonald's army and shit like that.
and the colonel.
Oh, the colonel oversees them all. He's basically the Black Hand.
You gotta understand something. I would play the living shit out of this.
Oh, I would too. I wish, like, these are the kind of things. These are the kind of stupid things that I wish people would actually devote like time and money into.
It's like, it's a losing situation because nobody will ever make a game like that because it's like it would not do well. It would do terrible.
I'd buy it.
Oh, I'd buy it.
I'd support the shit out of that game.
That's $120 right there. Just
right.
If they put it out for $60.
Now, where do microtransactions come in?
The gear. Nah, just do that bullshit.
So that's sort of. I mean, you could just do loot boxes because that's essentially what Shadow of War did.
Yeah.
They basically, and they have since actually, they've since actually completely removed microtransactions from the game.
Can I say something?
What?
Well, I want like a legendary set of like him of the king wearing like a Wendy's skull crown of like with the fucking pigtails and shit.
Just eventually you can just get like a skin where he just has the severed heads of like all of the colonel's head is in like a KFC bucket. You know?
That's so good. I'd play the hell out of that.
Yeah, because you could just do the typical loot boxes though. Like Shadow of War lets you buy loot boxes that have like skins in them, has like ally Oryx and stuff like that. So you could definitely go that route. Next up is a game that I would play in a heartbeat because I'm imagining this is a sequel to a game that I already love. So did you ever play a game called 50 Cent Blood on the Sand?
Never played it, but I do know about it.
I legitimately love that game. That's actually like, honestly, if I went through all the 360 games, 50 Cent Blood on the Sand would be top 25.
I respect that.
I fucking love that. It's so stupid. I love it. It's literally like a third-person shooter where you play as 50 Cent and you're killing dudes. It's basically a Gears of War clone, trying to get back a crystal skull after a show.
That's actually the second 50 Cent game, isn't it?
Yeah, he did one on like PS2 called like 50 Cent Bulletproof, which was way worse. Blood on the Sand was actually legitimately like pretty good. It was actually like a legit kind of like arcadey Gears of War, just like a fun time. And just playing, the whole time it's playing like G-Unit music, and you're just kind of vibing after you've heard In the Club like 70 times in a row. But this one, I imagine, is a direct sequel to Blood on the Sand, where 50 Cent takes on the demons of hell in 50 Cent Runes of Demons.
All right, then.
And it writes itself, obviously. I think it's a direct sequel. God, why did I just go to Google 50 Cent Runes of Demons when I wanted to Google Blood on the Sand? I Googled it as if it was a real game.
It is a real game in our hearts.
I just wanted to read. I forget how the game ends. I'm curious. I don't remember the plot super well. I do remember that you can play co-op in Blood on the Sand, and like other people can play as like other members of the G-Unit crew, like fucking Lloyd Banks and DJ Woo Kid and stuff like that.
All right then.
There are 40 plus tracks in the game. 18 tracks. Oh wow, I didn't know this. 50 Cent made 18 tracks exclusively for Blood on the Sand. Wow.
Damn.
So that right there is where the microtransactions come in. You buy the songs. You buy the videos. Yeah, I'm curious. So obviously this one's got a hellish kind of underpinning. 50 Cent Bulletproof is technically the first, so you got to think this is also a ending of a trilogy. So we have to give 50 a good send off.
He's going to hell.
He's going to hell, right? They tried to kill him in Bulletproof Because that's the whole thing with 50 Cent, right? Didn't he get shot like 9 times or something like that?
Yeah.
Isn't that his whole deal?
Yeah, he's got like shot in his like legs, arms, like face.
He's got him like
shit,
super
all that
shot
shit.
up and shit like that.
Yeah.
So
I think he's still got like shrapnel in his tongue type of shit.
maybe this time he actually does die, and he goes to hell, and he literally crawls his way out. How what a better way to say that you're bulletproof. You know what I mean?
You're immortal at that point.
You're literally, he's fucking immortal. 50 Cent is literally immortal. And he is just like crawling his way, he's literally crawling his way out of hell after getting shot fatally after the events of Blood on the Sand. Yeah, I like it. I would play that game because I really legitimately like Blood on the Sand. You'll like this one. So this is a new entry in a franchise that you and I both are very familiar with. This franchise holds a lot of nostalgia for us. We grew up with this franchise. I'm speaking, of course, of VeggieTales Dynasty Warriors.
Oh, fuck. You don't understand. That's kind of got my dick hard a little bit. Like, I just imagine just pure stupidity, bro. I want to play as Larry Boy.
Oh, yeah. And that's another one where
like,
it's
there's
easy.
too much good shit. Like, here's the thing. A Dynasty Warriors game is so easy because it's such a simple game.
Right.
But, like, I can see it. I can see it in my eyes. Just like these epic battles between vegetables.
So what would be the enemies? Like fruit?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
I don't know. That's usually not. I think. I don't even remember what the deal is.
Yeah, I don't remember either, but I do remember. So what character do you think you would play as? Because obviously there'd be the skins, like the Larry Boy skin.
So I have described this now, because you know how like the motherfucker of like Dynasty Warriors is like was Lubu.
Yeah.
That's Larry Boy.
Okay. It even sounds similar. Lubu, Larry Boy.
Exactly. Oh god.
Who would you play as though? Like I want an obscure character.
Oh, an obscure character?
Yeah.
Like what? Like a random ass one?
I'll tell you who I'd play as. I'd play as Archibald.
Which one's Archibald?
He's like that.
Is that the?
He's like that butler asparagus.
Bro, you're funny as hell. That was actually the dude I was thinking about.
He's like that kind of like stuffy, like with the big nose.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, that would be my dude right there. Because I feel like Archibald, he'd probably be like a halberd user.
Nah, dude, I think he's gonna be classier in that. Because we don't have to. Like, I feel like that dude would use like a
rapier.
Was it a rapier?
Yeah, I could see that too. I envisioned him as like a slender, almost like a dragon, like almost like an Ornstein kind of thing.
I feel that.
Like a spear or a halberd. I don't know. Who is this character? Apparently there's a character named Ziggy who is like a broccoli or something like that that has like dreadlocks. He's a scallion. He has dreadlocks and a beard.
But he's newish. She's got to be new.
Oh, dude, because VeggieTale's still going on.
That's what I'm saying. This is past our time.
This is way past our time. He debuted in VeggieTales: The Fennel Frontier, which released in 2014.
Yeah, definitely know.
Yeah, spoiler alert, Todd. I was not watching VeggieTales 4 years ago. Man, that's hilarious.
That's crazy to me that VeggieTales is still going on.
Yeah, what? Dude. Yeah, it's still. We got 2 more titles here. This one intrigues me. This is another one where when I saw the title, I was like, I'd play that. Ghostly Groove Party. That sounds just like a fun time right there. Now, where does your head go when you hear that title? Ghostly Groove Party.
Ghostly Groove Party?
No, Party.
Oh, Ghostly Groove Party.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Like a part of me just like my mind wanders to like a stupid like Just Dance.
See, I don't. I go a different place.
Where do you go?
Have you ever heard of a game called Ghost Trick Phantom Detective?
No.
Really great game. Maybe the best DS game, period. Maybe just straight up the best game on the original DS. Just hands down. It's a great kind of adventure puzzle game where with still some of the best like 2D animation of any game ever. And you should really look into it if you've never played it. I think it's also out on mobile now. I think they actually ported Ghost Trick to where you can like play it on your phone. I think you can like buy it on the App Store. Anyway,
Okay.
Great game. But the whole crux of that game is you play as a detective who died, and you have to solve your own murder by possessing objects. Like, you have to sort of like possess objects and like control the events of like crime scenes to help solve your own murder. So when I hear Ghostly Groove Party, I'm sort of thinking of like of a scenario like that, like Ghost Trick, but you're inhabiting some kind of like fucked up party, like solving some sort of crime that happens in a party, and maybe it's a singular event. Maybe it's like a very short hour, 2 hour game, or whatever. If you know exactly what to do, maybe it's all about the mystery. It's like a Gone Home kind of scenario, where like you're trying, like the experience is getting to the end, and you're just trying to solve some sort of like event or mystery in this Ghostly Groove Party. Or here's another idea I just came up with. Maybe it's literally like you were kind of going for like a dancing game, like a Dance Central kind of thing, involving like spooky characters, just involving like ghosts and werewolves and shit like that. You know what song has to be in that game?
Of course.
The Monster Mash. I've got one last title for you here, Todd, and it's my favorite. Maybe my favorite, I don't know. It's kind of disturbing, but it's my favorite title simply because it's actually something that people legitimately want. Animal Crossing Love Hotel.
Wait, people want that?
People want to... That is a thing that Animal Crossing fans want. Animal Crossing fans want to be able to, like, date the animals. That's, like, a real thing. And, like, I look at stuff like that, and I'm just like, how is this just not straight-up bestiality?
Because everything is sexualized, Seth. Everything.
Like, it's one thing to be like, oh, the personality of this animal is, like, attractive or whatever. Because they have very human personalities in Animal Crossing. But, like, to be like, yeah, I want to fuck that lion. I want to date that lion. That's, like, so weird to me. Like, how's that okay?
Because, Seth, you're not a furry.
And also, Love Hotel is an ambiguous thing. Because in Japan, a love hotel is not... It's one of those things where it's not explicitly about sex. Like...
But it's implied.
In other words, it doesn't have to be about sex.
No.
You could go there and pay to just have a girl hang out with you. Or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the Japanese concept of, like, hostesses, you know? Where, like, they can, like, hang out with you and just, like, play video games with you, or, like, you know, you can just talk to them or whatever. It's, like, weird. But then I'm sure there are some of them that are essentially just brothels. And I feel like Animal Crossing Love Hotel would just totally feed into the fucking furries that want to fuck these animals.
Definitely would.
You know what I mean? And the microtransactions are easy. At that point. Because at that point, you take the really dirty microtransaction route because the people that are playing this game are thirsty enough to want more.
The degenerates, no.
Well, you do the shit where it's like, oh, you've run out of time, or you've run out of energy. Come back when your energy repletes, or whatever.
Oh, you go to the dirt. Yeah, you definitely go to the dirty route with that.
Come back in 30 minutes when you gain 1 energy, and you can play for another minute. Or just give us some money and buy your fuck coupons. Buy your dirty, gross shit. I feel like that's the skeezy route to take, and I feel like that's the only route to take. If you're talking about a game that delves into this kind of underbelly of a Nintendo franchise, I mean, you got to make them pay for it, right?
Definitely.
Is there any other route? Do you have any other take on that idea? I feel like
I just
I feel like I took that and ran with it.
That's like the only route I think it could go.
Yeah.
Because it's just like it's like a fucking Animal Crossing adult game.
Yeah, and that's weird to me. And you know what's fucked up? It probably already exists. You know, there's a fan game out there where you're playing as like the owner of a love hotel. Actually, that's something. What if it's not sexualized at all? What if you're just the owner of a love hotel? What if you're just the pimp?
I feel like it's weirder at that point.
And it's always weird in Animal Crossing because you're like the only human. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you're the only human that's like a pimp for all these animals to get on, I mean, that would be a little less weird than like being the human fucking. At least at that point, you're facilitating animals having sex, and you're not just a human having sex with other animals. You know what I mean?
It's still weird though.
Still weird. I don't know. I don't like the bestiality turn this podcast is taking. But that's the list that I got. What was your favorite out of this list?
Garfield.
Really? First one was your favorite, huh?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I was most intrigued by... Oh, let me see here. Let me go over the list just one more time, just in case you want to change your mind. So we had Garfield the Lightning Thief, True Crime Ken Beyond, CSI Relish Rampage, Jimmy Neutron Hand of Olympus, Galactic Wrestling, Sneak King of the Dark Alliance, 50 Cent Runes of Demons, VeggieTales Dynasty Warriors, Ghostly Groove Party, and Animal Crossing Love Hotel.
Now, still Garfield. I will say this, though. You're going to have a good selection of titles.
Yeah.
For this podcast.
That's true. Always.
I know I said a lot of dumb shit during that CSI.
There'll be, you know, I always have a good time picking out titles. I think my favorite out of this, the one where I'm like, I would actually play that, is probably Sneak King of the Dark Alliance.
I would play that because
in the way that we are describing
it.
Yeah, I would definitely play that. Anyway, that's all we got for this episode of Nerd Bourbon Video Game Vomit. Todd, anything else you want to add before we wrap it up?
I think that's it, man.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys. Get fucking dunked on. Bye.
See ya.
Hey, thank you so much for listening to Nerd Bourbon this week. We appreciate your support. And if you liked what you heard and you want to hear more, why not follow or subscribe to us on whatever service you're listening to us on. We're also on pretty much all of the social media channels. And look, we would deeply appreciate it if you told a friend about us. If you got a friend who's into this sort of nerdy stuff, let them know. Spread the word. We don't pay a dime for marketing this show. And your word of mouth is the only way, really, that we have to grow. So until next time, you've been listening to Nerd Bourbon.